Okay, guys, so I'm just finishing up here, lesson 114, doing the peace and quiet of my planning period, the calculated target. So I read through the instructions and I see that 25% is supposed to fall on the first inner bullseye circle. Another 50% in between the first and second bullseye circle, and then 25% outside. And it occurred to me that this is a little bit of a trick question mathematically. So if I were going to do this in a spreadsheet, I would do this very simple. In order to justify my answer, I would use definitions. Here I have a box plot, which is on here, and by definition, 25% of the material falls in the first quartile. By definition, between quartile and quartile 1 and quartile 3, in the box itself, that's 50% of the data, and by definition, 25% of the data will fall out here. So I could simply set my diameters of my target lines, my rings. The first one would be quartile 1, which is defined to have 25% of the data. The second one could be quartile 3, which is defined to have 50% fall in between quartile 3 and quartile 1. And by definition, I'd have 25% fall out here. So if I simply go back to my spreadsheet, which I've made a little bit nicer and trying to have present, I'll share this with you guys in the assignment so that you can make it easy. I'm literally just going to come here and hit equals quartile. I've got to choose my data, comma 1, when I want it to be a quartile. And I can see it'll be 2.35. In an effort to make this a little bit more legible and not have all the decimal places, I'm going to go to format and format it as a number when it's set to 2 decimals. So I'll just take it down. The same thing here. To do my second ring, that distance would be equal to quartile. I'll do this data and then comma 1. Oh, I would suggestion details. That's what I want. I'm going to do that again real quick because I completely made a mistake. Equals quartile of this data, comma 3. Notice that it realized I was wrong. That's pretty smart on Sheet's part. But there's the diameter of my first ring and second ring that would meet the constraints of having 25% fall in the first, 50% in that middle, and 25% in there. And then when it came to justifying, I would literally just say that's the definition of a quartile. And that would be completing up my spreadsheet. So I look back over it here. This is nice. If I did want to sort this data in this column, please note that it won't really sort. If I go up to data and I try to sort that range from A to Z, it gives me a little bit of a problem. It does not sort it. Instead, to do that, since it's dependent upon the first 2 columns, I need to sort these 3 columns. And then I'd go data, and I'd sort, range. I do advanced sorting options. I'd say I have a header row, and I want to do it by distance from the center, from A to Z, from the smallest to largest. If I do that, notice it flops that, but it also flips this around also to keep them lined up. The reason it won't just sort this column is because this column is calculated from these columns, so it needs to stay in the same horizontal rows, otherwise the calculations wouldn't be correct, and it would put it at odds. That's how I'm going to calculate my target range. I think that's, I'm assuming that's what they wanted us to see. I'm embarrassed to say I did not see it until about the second time through. But here I have my data entered, my distance from center calculated, my average distance from center calculated from the average x and average y. This would be my degree of accuracy, or the number, my quantitative measure of accuracy. My quantitative measure of precision would be the range on the x and the y, and then calculating a target can be done mathematically with a spreadsheet. Not necessarily easier to do for 10 pieces of data, but if I were doing 10,000, it's a no-brainer. So, thank you.